They call him the Great One, and I think we all know why. Mark Levin. Hey, brother, how are you? Welcome back to the show.
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm doing all right. We're talking about what it means to be a conservative. Michele Bachman has called herself the only true conservative that's running for the GOP nomination. Let me just play something here for you.
I think I am the complete candidate as a constitutional conservative.
And that's kind of what I've been discussing with the audience, Mark. First of all, what it means to be a conservative. And do you agree with Michele Bachman that she is the most, whatever that means, conservative person running for the GOP nomination?
Well, when you run for office, you got to talk in these sound bites a lot of times.
Right.
There are a lot of good conservatives running. Now, there's some who aren't. But what it means to be a good conservative, well, to me, what it means to be a good conservative is somebody who, number one, believes in the Declaration of Independence, unalienable rights. Okay, that is crucial because the left believes that rights come from government. We conservatives believe rights come from natural law, which comes from God. In other words, we're born free, and we're born with the right to live freely and to have property and to pursue happiness. That's number one. That's crucial. Number two, we have a Constitution, and that Constitution is intended to ensure that those rights under the Declaration are preserved. And so, at the Constitutional Convention, these men worked for 5.5 months in Philadelphia in a very hot summer, trying to figure out how to preserve individual liberty and create an ordered society. So when she says constitutional conservative, she's right about that. And the more we get away from the Constitution, not only the less conservative are we, the less we are an American society, this unique society that was founded.
No, Mark, I agree with you. Certainly, you wrote the book, Liberty and Tyranny, a Conservative Manifesto, and it's an excellent book. And if you ever wonder what conservatism means and what it's all about, I encourage you to read Mark's book. All right, if you would hang on one second, I got an email here from a listener I want to share with you. He asks a very good question when it comes to those that are running for the GOP nomination and the person that would be running against Barack Obama as it applies to conservatism. So hang on for me here real quick. We'll get back to the great one, Mark Levin, in just a second.
Your Houston Morning News with Matt Patrick continues.
KTRH News Time is 6:52. Joining us, one of my favorites. He is the great one, Mark Levin. You hear him every weekday, 7 p.m. here at KTRH. Frank, Mark, from Houston, wanted me to ask you this question. By the way, he says he loves you. Hope that doesn't make you uncomfortable.
I don't go that way, but that's okay.
He wants to know that even though he agrees that Michele Bachman may be the most conservative candidate, is it important for us to vote for the most conservative candidate or the most conservative candidate that can win against Barack Obama November 2012? I think it's an excellent question.
It is an excellent question, and I happen to think the most conservative candidate can win. Now I'm going to get controversial for some of the people out there, including some of the kooks. I'm not a Ron Paul guy because I think his foreign policy is not a quote-unquote conservative foreign policy. But I think everybody else on that stage can beat Obama for two reasons. Obama is so bad, and his record is so bad. And when we're focused on this, but when the American people are really, really focused on Election Day, as they were in 1980 when Reagan was running, to get rid of Carter, I think Obama's done. Now, I also think we do want the most conservative candidate we can. And by most conservative, what we mean is the people who are going to... Look, let me be honest with you. I was thinking about this during the break. Romney is not the most conservative candidate. Anybody who puts Romney care in, I don't care if it's a state issue, a county issue, a local issue, or a national issue, his instincts are not, quote-unquote, conservative. So that's his history.
All right.
Governor Perry, who I kind of like a little bit more, he's got some issues, too. And the question is, do we need the perfect candidate or a solid conservative candidate? We're not going to get a perfect candidate. But if Perry keeps running around, and I'm talking about outside Texas now, and keeps saying, you don't have a heart if you don't agree with me on in-state tuition. You know how many states have in-state tuition? 7. So if he keeps that up, he's not going to win.
Now, Mark, I'm short on time here, and I don't mean to rush it because I love listening to it.
I think anybody other than Ron Paul or a Huntsman can beat Obama. That's what I think.
All right, very good.
Yeah,
and I appreciate.
And I think we ought to go for the most conservative because now is the time. We got to reverse course in this country. We can't just elect another Republican.
No question about it. All right, my friend. Again, I thank you for your time, for getting up early and joining us. And don't forget, you can catch the great one 7 o'clock Monday through Friday right here on KTRH. Thanks, Mark.
It's always a pleasure.